Hey guys, here we go again with another worksheet in Illustrator on how to draw using the pen tool. So the last couple videos that you've watched here, you've seen how I've given you these templates to trace on to kind of follow along with a path and help you develop those skills on how to draw with the pen tool and get those lines to look exactly how they're supposed to. I gave you where you should have your anchor points and where you're going to pull your handles to, and by putting them where I told you to, you were able to draw those curves exactly how you were supposed to follow the template. Well, as your skills are getting better here on this one, you can see I've given you some lines, but you don't have any places where you're going to be putting your anchors and where you're going to be pulling your handles to. So I'm going to push you here a little bit on this next one to kind of start figuring out on your own where the anchor points need to go and kind of moving the handles in the directions and in the curves and all of that to get things to line up. So we're going to use the pen tool here again. We are also going to start looking at placement of anchors and we're going to be modifying handles along the way as we draw this four-leaf clover. Okay, so I'm ready to go. I have my my pen tool is active. I've got green here, right? Why not? We're drawing a clover. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit here so we can see. All right. The more and more you draw, the better you're going to get, okay? But one helpful tip is going to be you can only change one direction between two anchor points. So what I mean by that is if I start here at the top of the four-leaf clover and I come up and follow this line and I try and go all the way around to this point here, I've actually changed directions twice. I've changed a direction here and then I've changed a direction here. So I can't go all the way from here to here with one line. You're never going to get that curve to line up and match. So we're going to have to split that in half. So again, you can only change one direction. So I'm going to click and draw a handle up. And again, I'm going to point it in the direction of my line. How long? Well, that's where, experience is going to come in. We can always come back and adjust them later. So I'm just going to draw it up and point it in the direction I want it to be. And then I'm going to split this in half. So it's starting to change direction right around here again. So I'm going to come about right here and I'm going to click and drag. And I'm going to get that line to match up the best I can, all right? So I'll let go, and then I'm going to come down to this point here. I'm going to click and drag again. Now, it's not going to line up perfect, and that's okay. But again, I don't want my line pointing in this direction when I leave this third anchor point. I need it coming out this direction, right? Because the curve is going to go around. So I'm going to get it as close as I can, hold my Alt key and move that handle and point it in the direction that I want it to go for that next line. So again, I'm going to split this in half and kind of come around here, something like that. And then I'm going to come down here. Again, get that line to kind of match up. So I've had to pull it pretty long across the clover, but that doesn't matter. I'm going to move this handle again. I'm going to move it and point it in this direction. And I'm going to come back and I'm just going to start drawing a little bit, and you can see I'm adjusting my handles as I go. So we'll point it up here. Again, get it as close as you can and we'll come back and tweak it at the end. So I'm just going to come through here and get this drawn, okay? Maybe something like that. Okay, getting close. That's the beauty of being able to, move those handles on the fly and then be able to kind of finish this up and tweak it when we're all done. Okay, So I've got this all drawn now, and you can see that I definitely have a couple of these that are not close at all. So that's okay. That's all right. We're now going to come in and start editing and get this thing to really start looking the way we want it to and really, really match up with the edge of that four-leaf clover. So we can use the direct selection tool, right? We talked about that, where you can select the line and you can move these handles and things like that. But here's where the direct selection tool might not be the perfect tool for you. So you can see this line segment right here is matching up really pretty nice. And the only one that isn't is this one here. But if I grab this handle, see how it can move both sides? I don't necessarily want to do that. I don't want to move this bottom part of it. I just want to move the top part. So I'm going to show you another tool here that's going to help you adjust the handles, but only one side of that anchor is going to move. So the top section is going to move, but not the bottom. For that, if you, underneath your pen tool, if you come to the anchor point tool, it looks like a little caret. Now I can select the handle that I want to manipulate or move, and it's not going to affect the other side of that. So again, I can just drag this handle and look how it's only affecting this half, okay? So I really like using the anchor point tool sometimes when I have to come in and just move part of it. I'll use and switch to that. So you kind of have to go back and forth. You have to select the line segment that you want first with the direct selection tool, and then go to the anchor point tool, and I can start to adjust my lines. So it's going to kind of be a little bit of back and forth here, but if we do it this way, everything is going to fall right into place. And again, all this is just tweaking these handles a little bit. You know, when you're drawing, you're not quite sure what direction or how far or how long or short that these handles need to be moved to. So again, I like to come in and move these anchors and all of that stuff, you know, a little bit afterwards, just to tweak them and get them perfectly in place. So I can adjust that one and then pull this one in a little bit. And again, I'm not adjusting both sides of that anchor, which are really nice. Sometimes having both sides moving at the same time is good, and sometimes it's not. So there it is. I'm gonna flip it over, and now you can see you have your four-leaf clover drawn and matching up on those lines really pretty well. So again, to recap, we drew that all with the pen tool. We got it as close as we possibly could, making sure that we get our anchor points, you know, halfway through those arcs or curves. And then we came back with either the direct selection tool, or in this case, it was a little easier to manipulate those handles after the fact with the anchor point tool, so we can really dial in and get all those lines exactly where we wanted them to be.